It's barely some 48 hours to the reopening of schools at the basic level for final year students at the junior high school level. So JHS3 students should be resuming school on Monday for the final lapse of their term to enable them write the basic education certificate examination. Lots of basic schools in the country are actually day schools, so they just look like ghost schools now since they've been closed in March upon the president's directive. But on Monday, lots of activities may be happening, and so that is what we are here to assess. We've come here at the La Enobo Government School, a public basic school in the heart of La in Accra. Pretty much nothing is happening. All the doors are locked. The compound not prepared yet because these are students who may come on Monday to do that. Classrooms are locked. Places are dusty and dirty. Not a lot of activity. Children are shouting in the neighboring communities and playing. Of course, these are children who are not going to school. School officials are not currently present for any conversation about preparatory works because, of course, this is a junior high school and it's just one classroom. That's a junior high school 3 that will be coming back. In the neighborhood, though, people are expectant. Community members are pretty much aware of what should be happening and what should not be happening. COVID-19 has locked everything down, including basic schools. I'm going to move into the community proper, but just before I go in there, there's a man seated here. I'm going to go and join him for a quick conversation. Nothing is happening here. School is quiet. Do you feel odd? How are you feeling?
Boni BFA ni school be ba school be na e fine. Be na school be bank una ka min share e be when Friday no ba na ka aba school. Ni ba na ka waka men gbasa ni waka me ye to mo bi ni waka me obi e. Si bi antre ni ameshi bi e wo bi ne una cemetery o de we ha bi ne fi oku wa ni ko ta bi de nche una min share.
Okay, BFA business won't business here.
Business ele hin cry. But in touch na driver Jimmy.
Okay. Okay, Bele Square e ba ngon na because business.
E ngon na ko pa ja business
ba. Pen baba e.
Si to ba fe ten. Ka me mbale fiu no na me ma mi mpo na ke atalo le fiu.
So there you have it. I'm going to move in and see if I can find some of them to talk to here in the La community. All right, so this is La community. Let's see if we can talk to a few students. What's your school?
La Enoba 2 JHS.
Oh, so Enoba 2 is your school?
Yes.
How do you feel like being home since March?
It has been quite tedious because when I sit at home, we don't feel like learning. It has been difficult. When we stand up, we have nothing to do. But as we were going to school, we were active at all times. But now that we don't go to school, we are just at home. We don't feel like learning.
So do they teach you from school? Do you have like online classes that they do for you? Or since you came back, you've just been relying on your books?
Oh, please, as we are government students and because we are many in the class, our teachers cannot get all of us our contacts. It's not all of us that we use WhatsApp phones, so we don't get any online classes. Even I don't even have television in my room for me to be watching what they have been teaching on the telly.
How has that affected you? And going back on Monday, what is your mind like?
Oh, me, I see it that during these 11 weeks, I'll be serious with my studies and take my book serious.
Are you worried and afraid that the BECE may be more problematic because of your absence from school over the past few weeks?
Yes, because I'm not too much afraid because I know that when I came home, I didn't study too much. But as this 11 weeks will begin, I'll do my best to study, so I'm not too much afraid.
Wish you all the best, yeah?
Okay.
What do you want to be in the future?
I want to be a soldier.
A military person?
Yes.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
So that's one student who is in the house. Let me grab. There's another colleague of yours. You come and take the same seat. Let's have a conversation. So, Papa, you are in which school?
Burma Camp Signal.
Okay, so you're in GHS 3. How has it been for you staying home all these months?
It has been very tough, but my mom has given me a classes teacher, so I've been learning.
Okay. Have you been seeing top?
Yes.
All the courses?
Yes.
When you go back on Monday, what are your anticipations? What do you expect will be happening or should be happening?
I expect that all the children will go according to the safety precaution, and the teachers too will teach us according to how the president has told them to do. That we will all be safe.
How confident are you about the BECE?
I know if I learn, I will pass. So I'll learn so that I'll pass.
We're still moving around the La community, trying to pick thoughts from parents, from pupils ahead of the reopening of school for GHS 3 students on Monday. Here is one house. Hello. You are going back to prepare for BECE. Are you very confident?
Oh, yes.
Are you afraid of COVID or you're fine? You feel safe?
Oh, I'm not afraid. If you have the safety things, you'll not be afraid. Okay. And you wash your hands regularly too. You'll not be afraid. Okay.
You're confident. What grade did you think you'll make in the BECE?
Oh, 6.
Aggregate 6?
Yes.
Let me speak to Tatiana's mom. You're Tatiana's dad?
Yes, please.
What's your name? Safas, how has it been for you having a student staying at home when they're supposed to be in school for the past few months because of COVID?
It's been a very challenging moment, especially when you don't have enough time to be around to monitor their studies and stuff. But I think they are trying. They are trying with their own studies and the school, helping them with some questions and answers and stuff. They are picking up.
Are you confident about the BECE?
To be sincere, I'm not confident. At the moment, I'm not that confident. Because when you are not around to check whether they are truly studying or not, it appears the television has always been something that their main focus has been on. So with that challenge, it's very, very, very difficult to monitor.
What about the COVID itself, returning to school? What do you feel like? Do you feel a child will be safe?
Sure, since the schools have guaranteed to go through the laid-down protocols, I think I also have to help her to do a part. So I think with that, it's okay. Very
well. Thank you so much for speaking to us. So that's he has a ward who is in GHS 3 preparing for the BECE. And he's confident, trusting the school community and the school to give him the best possible care for his child. And of course, this will be the hopes and aspirations of many parents whose wards will be returning for the BECE in GHS 3 schools. Per the directives by the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on Monday, basic schools should be expecting some activity, final year students. But apparently, it's not everybody who's going to go back to school. Some schools have deployed innovative ways in which they will not necessarily bring students physically back to campus, but they'll still continue to do what they have to do and teach them. One such school is a Soul Clinic, international school at Cantonment in Accra. So I'm here now to have a quick conversation with the headmaster of the school. Hello, sir. So tell us, you didn't plan for a vacation. You were just told that go home. Your students were here before the president gave the directive for students to go home?
Yes, we were here. And much as like you are mentioning, we had finished our academic work. We were about starting our exams when the directives came. So we have to leave for the house. We decided to put in the Zoom classes for the teachers to continue with the work that we were doing, because we didn't know when the lockdown will be lifted for us to return to school. So as I speak, we are ending the classes today or tomorrow. There's a timetable for examination, which will take us to Thursday next week, and then school vacate on Friday, officially.
So on Monday, when lots of other final year students in basic schools will be going back to school, what will be happening at Soul Clinic?
Now, we have our timetable or academic structure does not actually tally with the basic school term because we are running the Cambridge system.
So no student will be back here on campus on Monday?
No, they wouldn't come.
I see.
Already, mind you, our Form 5 11 graders completed. Basically, they shall finish on the 7th June. But because of the lockdown, we all went home. But then, it doesn't mean that they are not assessed. Cambridge put a program in place for us to send the marks, their mock marks, their class exercises, for them to be assessed so that they are awarded their certificates. Okay. So therefore, they are already out. So we don't have final year students at all.
Come to the Ghana Education Service now to speak to the Deputy Director General in charge of quality and access, that's Dr. Tando. Doc, you're welcome to Citi Newsroom. So tell us, Monday, is everything ready?
Yes, Omaru, everything is ready on Monday. We have been preparing, obviously, for some time now.
So all basic schools have been disinfected?
Yes. Now, we disinfected all of our basic schools. That includes even our KGs and our primaries, because if you look at a lot of our schools, you actually have a complex of schools. So we didn't just disinfect the junior high school portions, but all of our schools in the country have been disinfected.
Now, let's talk about the PPEs. We saw when the senior high schools were going to reopen in the universities, a flight taking equipment to the hinterlands. What is the plan with the GHS3?
For junior high schools, because they are primarily at the district level, now we are going to our 260 districts. So from regions to the 49 zones, and now 260 districts are all receiving PPEs. They've actually started receiving them bit by bit, and we are hoping that by the end of tomorrow, at least, all the PPEs would have been distributed. The good thing is that not a few months ago, a month and a half or two ago, the Vice President actually, we gave out vehicles to all of our district offices. So now in terms of logistics from the district offices to our schools, we do have vehicles in place. At least each district has a vehicle, but some of them even have 2 or 3 vehicles. And so they are able to now cut the PPEs to different schools. This includes PPEs even for private schools.
A lot of our basic public schools run a day system. Yes. So even the school officials will not be in school over the weekend and Friday and so on. Does it then mean that you have to wait till Monday morning to supply them with these PPEs?
Because we know schools are reviewing on Monday morning, and as PPEs are going, that means GES, we are working over the weekend. And so into Sunday, we are out. We even have monitoring teams that are out over the country throughout the weekend and into next week. Heads of schools are administrative officers of the institution, so they don't necessarily have to come on Monday morning. So as soon as the PPEs begin to arrive in the schools, those coordination work begins to happen so that they get to the schools. Now, you would also realize that specifically for the junior high schools, school is not beginning until 9 a.m. because we know that every day when they come in the morning, there has to be certain protocols that has to be put in place. So if you ask them to come at 7 a.m., which means you have to start those protocols very early. We also put them at 9 a.m. so that because we know most of them commute, most of them don't even take cars because they live in walking distance. But even for those that take public transportation, if you reopen schools at 9 a.m., they miss the rush hour traffic. So they are not in a vehicle with a lot of people, so you minimize the exposure. And 9 a.m. also allows us to do the morning protocols. Mind you that the largest junior high school that will open will probably have anywhere between 80 to 90 kids based on our class sizes.
Okay, let's talk about spacing in the classroom. So are they going to be using more than one classroom where originally they used one classroom?
Absolutely. It is one of the reasons why the president is only asking our final year students to come to school.
Is every Form 3 student at the GHS obliged to come to school Monday morning?
The president's directive is that we are reopening. And we are reopening because we need to support our final year students to complete. But yes, they are to return to school with the PPEs that the government is supplying them. We are also asking parents specifically to also support. Just like we have seen in our senior high school reopening, almost all of our students who reported to school brought a set of PPEs on their own to support what government was giving.
Thank you so much, Doc. And that should be it. That's the Deputy Director General in charge of Quality and Access of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Tando, with the perspectives from the Education Service on plans to reopen on Monday.